going to tie a salmon fly called a Lady Amherst. It's not a very old pattern. I think it it was created in the 20th century, early 20th century, maybe the 20s or the 30s or somewhere around there. I'm not completely sure. The hook I'm using here is this one, right? Daiichi. It's a 1.5. It's Alec Jackson, and it's got the bent eye on it. And I chose this one because it's got a very thin bent eye. If you saw, I use a lot of those Sprite bent eyes, but that bent eye is very thick. And since this is a tinsel body, you kind of have to. It's kind of a hard body to do on a bent eye because of that space. So there can be a little bit of a step here. But if you get a thin wire bent eye, the step won't be as noticeable. And now I haven't tied this salmon body before. This is the first time I've ever tied it. But the body's kind of like a Silver Doctor body with the tinsel, and the wing is kind of like a Dorm Ranger wing in a way, only using Lady Amherst instead of tippet, and that's kind of how I look at these sort of things. We're going to tie on here. I'm using white Giorgio Benici. I think this is considered 16.0 or something like that, 12.0. It's the ultra fine. I'm not doing a voiceover on this one because I've never tied this before, and I don't know, I want you to see me tie it at the same time as I'm figuring out how to tie it. So it's first time for both of us in a way. If I do a voiceover, it's definitely going to allow me to think about it a lot more. I don't know what I want to do here. These hooks they're very curvy, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful how much of a tag you put on here. It's got a wire, silver wire. I will put it on if I can find the end. Maybe it's an oval in the back, I'm not even sure. We're going to try and make up some of this space here. So we're going to put it on. Now, if you wonder why you don't just make up the space with thread, meaning why don't you just run the thread up and down a few times to make up that space? Well, you can't do that because when you wind the thread on, you're creating a round body. But the bent eye is not round; it's wide. So it's still going to create a step. You have to make a wide body here. And the only way to make a wide body is by adding material on the side. You see what I mean? There's no way to just build up the body for a bent eye with thread or floss. Unlike a blind eye where you do build up the body with floss, because that you're creating an entirely round hook. So right to the point. Then yellow floss. Tied it on 3 turns going up, and then I'm going to take those turns away. just hit my vise. So two crusts. I'm using actual crusts, not the short part that I think people refer to as tailings. I'm using the actual crest part. I want a pretty curved one. I don't want a flat one on this. If you wet it, they really stay together a lot easier. Just want them on top of each other a little better. If you don't get them on top of each other, they split on you. Which isn't terrible, but I like it better when they're on top. And you got to make sure you don't twist any of this other stuff. Now I think I might even keep these and bring them onto the side. This is always a risky maneuver here. All right, let me go up and then come back down. I'm really trying to make a nice flat body here for this tinsel. So if I go up, bring these onto the side. Gotta bring them onto the side and make a nice tight turn here. I might regret doing this, but Equatorial Guinea. Yeah, I don't think so. Equatorial Guinea. What is that? I don't even understand what that is. Equatorial? Am I saying that correctly? I thought maybe Equatorial Guinea left me a voicemail. That would be incredible. Imagine it's like somebody I know or something like that. Hey, I'm on vacation, Equatorial Guinea. Thought I'd say hi. I wish you would have picked up. Now we're going to go back down. Tell you, this is, looking at it from the top, it's looking pretty good. Let me just hold back a few because I do need to put a like a topping in there on top of this crest for the tail. And I've seen a lot of things out there on what to use. Some people are using teal. Some people are using like a wood duck, flank barred wood duck. I saw somebody use Cotinga or obviously Kingfisher. I don't know. I think I don't know. I think we'll use teal. So, but this should be alright. All I'm doing is taking some teal, just rolling it. And I'm going to just drop it right in there. That's fine. Some mini ostrich. You know what I might even do too, before I get too crazy here, and go back. Black magic marker. And it's just help cover up some of this white. Now I'm using this Lagerton. It's the flat tinsel in the oval. If you keep it low, then when you put on the oval and keep it a little bit high, you keep them both on the side, but one low, one high. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay, now we're going to go up. Now, an important thing here is that we need to put a hackle on, but we need to put it on so that it starts at the second turn of this oval right here. Which means you kind of gotta do some fancy maneuvers here to figure that out, or at least I usually do. Whenever I have to put something on at a certain point, but I won't know where that point is until I tie it up first. So I get this stuff out of the way. You make sure it's tied in good though in the beginning, and then I go one here. Now this needs 5 turns, so I'll go 1 here, I'll go 2, I'll go around the bobbin, I'm going to go 3, I'm going to go 4, then I'm going to go 5. So that's perfect. So actually I stopped the thread exactly where I need to, so that's good. So we'll bring this back. Alright, so the hackle is this badger, and I gotta be very careful here because it gets big quick, so I need to tie it in right at the tip, which can be scary because you don't want it to break. We're just going to tie it in real good. So there it is. I would say that that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. meaning the smoothness of the body. I would say it's alright, but we're going to find out because we're doing this. This hackle, man. This is going to be annoying. It's just the way it is. I probably should have put a little bit of a point into this. Into this tinsel, but it'll be okay. Should have put a point because it would have made it easier to turn it on. That first one. I hate you, Hackles. Make sure this one gets right up against it. That's okay. Did I tuck anything in? Yeah, I caught one right there. That's perfect. And we got to go. I like to go really far up with this stuff because you just never know. Don't stop it early. Just go all the way up. So let's see how much of a step I'm gonna have. It's not bad. Alright, so how far do we want to go here? Let's go back. Right to here. And you got to be careful when you tie this on with the tinsel, because it could cut your thread. Use some crappy scissors when you cut this stuff. Yeah. Alright, before you go too nuts here, I'm putting on a ton of thread turns. It's tied in. Now let's get this one on. Because you don't want to put a ton of turns in for every single material. Make sure it's nice and there we go. That's going to be perfect. So we need 5 turns. Let's take a look at this. Yeah. All right. I think we'll be okay. So I'm not cutting off that yeah, I don't like this. I think it needs to be in front. Yeah, it's way better, I think. Now let's do another turn right here. So I actually just did 2 turns up front instead of 1, just to give it a little bit more, fullness. And then we're going to cut this thing Okay. So the throat. You know, I don't know. You could turn it on. Or you could just tear it off. I think I'm just going to tear it off. I think that's all right. This one doesn't look so good. That one doesn't look so good. But everything else seems all right. This is Vivus 16-0. Normally I use Benici, Giorgio Benici, ultrafine black, but this was just on the desk, so I just grabbed it, and I think it's fine. It's strong, and it's definitely thin, which is what you want. Just gonna make sure this stuff is down. All right. Yeah, this is okay. Don't do too many turns here. All right. So that's all right. Now, I got most of this stuff set up already here. Now, when you take off the most of the bulk off these eyes, it can be very difficult to get the stems to lay next to each other like this, because usually what happens is that bulk that you took off, that's what's pushing up against each other. So once you take that off, it becomes very hard, and the stems have to be next to each other, because if they're not next to each other, they won't lay correctly. So sometimes you just gotta you gotta force them to be next to each other. And you just need to get it to stay for a second. You just need it to stay for a second while you're putting them on. You're not gluing them permanently here. You're just holding them. I mean, you can glue them permanently if you want, but the idea is you just need to get them to stay for a second. Make sure they're tied in good. If you want them to be up, you crease them. And that's where they should be. They should hit kind of like the back of that tail. So this is the Lady Amherst. It's 4 feathers. Again, you got the kind of the same issue here. Cut them to length. They really shouldn't be. Yeah, they should. That's where they really should be, like right there. So I'm gonna put a little crease on these to try and get it to sit a little bit better. Just a little crease, because I want them to sit up. got it here. Yeah. It's high, but I don't mind it. I think it's okay. One thing I don't like, though, is just that the stem seems a little bit long. Yeah, we gotta go back. Stems seem too long. Alright, one more time. Yeah, this is way better now. Still gotta cut the stems, but this is, it's lower. I like the length. Yeah. So what happens if I, what the hell is this? Oh, we got a little piece sticking out over here. So what does it look like if I go all the way? Yeah, you know what? That's not bad. Alright, so let's do that. Let's go back here. This is alright. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's looking decent. Let's get this one. Yeah. Alright, so I like this, and then we'll just cut it with a razor blade. Okay, so that's one. And now we're going to need to pull another feather. You know what? Before we go any further, this desk needs to be resituated here because I don't like it. I got shit everywhere. This is a Lady Amherst collar. You can see if you've never seen something like this before. It looks like a golden pheasant, right? It's the same sort of idea. It just looks different. If you could see, a golden pheasant would have obviously gold, right? Tippet. I'm sorry, crest. This is just all red. Pretty amazing, right? So I'm getting this feather out here, and I think this one should be all right. Okay, that's almost good. All right, there we go. Well, we might have to lower this thing a little bit. I would like it like that. I mean, it can be done. To lower it, it can be done. Just, it requires some guts. It requires some guts. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So we want to be, something like that, I guess. Yeah, let's take a look at this other one. Yeah. I don't think they should be too long. Just past that first bar. Maybe. Yeah. There's one piece of stem here I don't like. Oh, brand new razor blade, I love you. Just trying to get some of this fluff off. Yeah, I think that we got it here. Careful about how many turns you're putting on here. Wish I could. I'm going to take this part right here. I should just stop screwing with it. I'm going to take this part and pull it through and bend it. And then it'll line up. But I'll do that. Oh, I can't do it later. I got to do it now. So, important thing is if you want to do this, you can't do it at the end. You have to do it now because you're going to put the topping on and then it'll be in the way. So if you look at it head on, find the center, open it up. Sometimes it's just caught on something, you don't even realize it. But you get it in there and you just make sure you just pulling the stems, but it does look like it's caught on something. This could really do a number on your Amherst if you don't be careful. So I just put a real good bend in it. I'll take it for now. Cheeks. Cheeks, 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 cheeks. Kingfisher cheek. See it there? It's a little blue cheek. Bring all the fibers together with some saliva. It makes just things a lot easier. They'll open up. They'll dry up pretty quickly. I wouldn't worry about it. It's always a good idea to make sure you look at it from the top to make sure they're aligned. think I put on a turn in the wrong spot here. There we go. Okay. I think that's all right. And now go back to our crest here. We're pretty close now. I think we're close. Let me look at a picture here. Is there hurl in this thing? Ooh, man. We got some hurl. All right. Clearly, we're not going to put them on like that. So we gotta make them work. So we put one on top of the other. Run your nail on the outside. You want that last curve though, because in reality you need it to just drop right in there. So obviously we need a little bit more here. Yeah. No. Let's make sure this is in the right spot. I don't know. I think like the severe drop that it needs to do, it's not going to make it look so good. So we're going to have to figure this out. See that severe. Maybe we just started earlier. I mean, I don't think that's horrendous. So too long. It's not horrendous, but it's not great. It's not horrendous, but it's not great. It's not horrendous, but it's not great. You know, it's not, you know what, it's not bad actually. Now that I'm looking at it a little bit more here. That one just actually, this one spot that I just got it in actually kind of looks decent here. It's a little bit curvy, but these things aren't really treated. One thing I'll say here is that the one problem I do see with a lot of people's flies is they only use one crest, and you shouldn't use one crest. You should always use two. Hell, sometimes you should use three. But I don't know if maybe, hey, if you like just one crest, if you like this very thin look, okay, then that's fine. But me personally, I think the right thing to do here is put two crests on. You would never really put one, I don't think. Maybe a tiny fly, but two is always going to look better, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's really a case, unless you're talking about a super tiny fly, where one crest is the right move. You want two. Alright, I'm going to cut off this thing here. Oh, nice. I love that. When I hear that sound, that little click sound, oh, that is music to my ears. That is just beautiful. 2 will get you there. That's what you want. Two will allow you to let go. 2 turns will allow you to let go. I don't know if you noticed how I was doing it. I hold that. I do the turns with the opposite hand. Alright, I think we got a good looking fly here now. This thing's not bad. Oof! I love that thing. Fortunately, we're not going to need anything long here. We got our horns. At least I think this will be, yeah, that's going to be okay. Yeah, I would say that is okay. Tough to tell. But I mean, it's got a little bit of a curve to it. I think it's who you know, the job security, okay? That's what horns are. Put these stupid things in here. Job security. That's what they were doing. They were saying, what can we put on that is really annoying? They're like, what can we do that's just absolutely impossible? Like, oh, I got it. Let's tie a T-shaped feather with the T part trying to lay flat. Like, oh geez, that's freaking impossible. That's exactly what we need. You want to put a T-shaped feather flat. That's it. Too many people are tying salmon flies now. How the hell do we get some of these people out of here? What are we gonna do? How about a T-shaped feather tied flat? Yeah, T-shaped flat. Now you're talking. That's exactly what we need to do. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alright, horns on. Hey, horns. We got a deal. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna require me to go up to do this hurl. Yeah, stupid hurl. I guess I gotta do it. I'll look at those horns in a second. Alright. We'll do the hurl. We'll do it. Okay. So what I like to do here is that I tie it on And then I make sure it's going to turn on correctly, because these things, getting these things to turn on correctly is a freaking nightmare. You can already see doesn't want to turn on correctly already. So we got to go back. Oh, no. It always looks like it's going to go too. You're like, oh, this is perfect. It's tied on perfect right now. And then without a doubt, it's like fucked up completely. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Alright, so we're not going to do that many turns here. And then, so we're going to put a little super glue right here. On the bottom. We're going to wait a second so that it soaks in and it starts to get tacky. It's got to be tacky, because it's got to stick to it. That's it. 2 turns. We need to get real close in here. Tell you, this hair right here is really okay. Oop, oop. Too much. Let me take this thing off. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. It's pretty straight. It's pretty straight right there. I don't think you're not getting any better than that. Let's see what... I haven't really looked at your side. Yeah. Yeah, this is my side here. That's yours. I think. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's alright. It definitely can get messed up easy, for sure. I mean, to make it, I mean, you want to take a picture of this thing, you really gotta mess with it for like a damn near freaking 20 minutes probably. I would say it's alright. Alright, we're gonna leave it at that because I don't want to screw with it anymore. Here, we'll give you one more look at my side, I guess. Yeah. See, I wore this black shirt for a reason there. Right? Figured it would be a little... Obviously you can't... It looks like the fly's just floating in the air because the hook blends in, but at least you can see it, I think, with this thing like this. I guess it's not that bad either. Huh. But that's it. There it is, Lady Amherst. It's a pretty interesting fly. I wanted to tie it because I'm really kind of interested in tying the Evening Star. And this is kind of like, Evening Star is kind of like a Lady Amherst. on like some sort of psychedelic type drug. But this is a good this is a good one to practice. Try a few of these before you get into that evening star. Evening star is look it up. It's just man, it is just it's something else. But so I wanted to try this one first. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right, Lady Amherst. Thanks.